I like to think of the time when I woke up, when I was 21, and something changed, and I heard the songs, and I seen the dance, and heard the people talking again, that it just woke me up, you know, and that's why I'm still here.
I've had cousins in the last 5 years die of fentanyl, you know, because it was laced, or they were going through what they were going through.
Communities are suffering from addiction, whether it's fentanyl, alcohol abuse, other drug abuse, prescription pills. When kids become of age, when they become 18, all of the trauma that was suffered in their young age and our young age starts to come out, when you become a young adult. And you either go down a path of substance abuse, alcoholism, or you go the other way and you can embrace your culture, embrace your people. Culture,
language, songs, all these support each other. This is part of we as a people, as Ipai, Tipai, Kumeyaay people, this is part of the Askai, or the pot of knowledge. And you cannot really have one without the other. An example, our songs are all in our language. Our culture is all in our language. The language, it all supports each other. If you take one out, then it's like building a house on sand. It lacks the strength and the fortitude. And our language, all these things, our culture, all these things go back into our creation story, go back to the beginning of time.
One of the things I try to do is be a bridge between the youth and the elders, because in the dominant society, there's such a separation between elders and youth. Culture has a lot to do with helping with addiction, because it's not our way to be addicted and assimilated all our lives into this other way of thinking. But when we learn our language, we learn this brand new perspective on things, and that's really the true perspective that we should have is our tribal perspective, because that's who we are, and the other perspective is what they want us to be.
Like I always tell people, if you know your culture, you know your ways, you know who you are, you could fit anywhere. You can have conversation with anybody. Because the reality is, we're all human. It's when you don't know yourself, it's when it's hard to fit in. To be able to fight for who we are and stand up to who we are, we have to know who we are. A lot of people talk about culture, what culture is. Culture is always an evolving thing. It's always changing. But when I talk about the way of thinking, the philosophy, that means that you're thinking a way of your people. Today's culture and today's world is me, I. Ours was never like that. It's always we and us. And when we lose that, then we become individuals. And when you become an individual, everything becomes harder. That's why I look at people, sometimes they sit there and I'm proud I'm Indian, you'll even hear, I'm full-blooded, I'm 7/8, I'm half. What does that mean? It means nothing. It doesn't mean nothing. If you're not carrying along our philosophy, our way of thinking, our way of solving problems, if you don't know that, I don't care how much Indian you think you are, you're not. You're not. So, there's, like I said, there's a lot of things within our ways of dealing with trauma and dealing with despair. But you have to know it. And you have to seek it. You have to seek it. You have to put the time to do it. That's the way you're going to learn it and have understanding of it.
You know, sing our songs. You know, they tried to outlaw them, but these songs are reviving. So when we sing those songs, that's resistance. When we speak our language, the language that they tried to exterminate from us, that is resistance. When we practice our ceremonies, when we revive our ceremonies, that is resistance. When we keep our reservations and we continue to grow as a people, that is resistance. And it is resistance that is done out of love for our people. You know, there are over 22 different song cycles. Each song cycle is in the language. Each song cycle tells a story. One song tells a story. It's like a book, and it's in our language. And when we put it all together in its order, then that is a narrative of something that had taken place. And it also teaches us where we're at today and what we're going to be doing tomorrow.
When the home burned, the serpent lit on fire and exploded into the skies. And the people swallowed part of that flesh, the language, the songs, the ability to philosophize, know what plants to use for medicinal use, diet use, and tool use. When we swallowed it, I believe it became part of our flesh, our body. And I believe we all have that in us today. So when we're speaking our language, it ignites us. It awakens us as a people. Every one of you is a part of that peace. Every one of you, whether you know the language or you don't, or the songs you don't, it's okay. It's your spirit that we want. It's your makhao. And we want your spirit to burn bright. Because it's your spirit, when it's burning bright, that's going to heal our people. That is how we heal our community. That's what we want to do. And we don't need no one on the outside to do that for us. It's great. We need to do it for ourselves. And we're here. And we want you.
It belongs to the people. And your job is to give it to the people. Your job is to make it easier for the next generation. Your job is to, if you know something, share it.
You know, we can tell stories to kids and they're gonna act like they're not listening, and they're gonna act like they don't care, but they'll remember and they will care. It happens all the time. It happens all the time.
For the ones who haven't come yet, Pumpil, Mayipea Uuyaaw. Tipe Kushlawa Kwarkwar. Nip Moyawa. Matmed. Tipe Ipe Lipit. Etik. Uuyaaw Mamle Maral. Pumpil, Kushlawa Uuyaaw. Puknaches. Wait, my pasho. Pum echa nipte, echa. Pum maya mepshonya echa matao mat. Wampunya ponya yuhan, kwahan, ahan.